Hello, everyone. I just have to say, because I am a believer in transparency and because you've all sort of muddled through this with me, I wish that you could see what happens about 90 seconds before this thing goes on. Often there's a tech glitch. You all know tech is not my strength. Often I'm wondering why my hair looks the way it does. Often I'm hoping the clock doesn't distract. It's just a bonkers berserk 90 seconds leading up to this. And kind of I wouldn't have it any other way, although I would love to have no tech problems. So setting that aside, let's all take a breath. Thank you. I am really happy to have someone in my life. She maybe doesn't even know this. She is my second cousin. I grew up with her. She lives across the state, but because all of my extended family is at the closest from across the state or further, Beth was someone who was really important to me growing up because she's just enough older than I am that I thought she was pretty remarkable. And she was the first redhead I ever met in our family. So if you know my parents, you know that my dad's 100% Italian, pretty gray now, but very dark hair, dark eyes. My mom's got dark hair, dark eyes, also pretty gray now. But I was an anomaly. I don't know that anybody even really believed I belonged in this family. So when I have memories of my second cousin, Beth, that's the first thing I think of. And so let's bring Beth to the camera because you're going to see what I have grown up seeing. Hi, Beth.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for patiently making our stupid technology junk work.
You're welcome, and thank you, because I think it might have been this end.
It doesn't matter whose end it's on. It's a pain in the neck every single time. So I'm thrilled to have you here. I don't know if you could hear my introduction of you, but you're the first redhead I remember because you're older than I am, sort of explaining how I could have red hair too.
I did hear that, and that was that was definitely interesting to hear.
I have to put this comment up, Beth, because you'll appreciate it, from my mom. Oh my gosh, two of my favorites all in one TV show. I can't wait.
Well, I just wanted to mention that this morning I was thinking about way back in times when we were around one another, and those long red braids were the best.
They were long. My hair went down to my knees when I didn't have braids in. It's kind of hard to imagine me with long braids now, but I didn't cut my hair till I was 12.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. As a someone who's always had amazing hair, Beth, you can imagine that every time you comment on my hair in a post, I sort of feel like, well, all right, today's a win. Beth thinks my hair is good.
I'll keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Today would not be one of those days. I was doing some work and forgot to even get out a blow dryer. So this is just what you get. I picked a poor day to do that with you, but it's all right. I know you will forgive and forget.
Absolutely.
So Beth, let's go right to our questions because I'm really curious to hear your answers. First of all, I can't believe you're over 50 because that means I'm close to 50, which, sometimes you talk to people who in your mind, they're like 11. You're kind of 11 in my mind. We're like 11 and 5 or something. I don't know how much older you are than I am, but I can't believe we're 50 and some others.
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
When do you turn 50?
Right before you have your birthday, December 29th.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I could
Your
remember
New Year's, right?
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another reason that we like each other so well is that we're both Capricorns.
That's right.
You either like a Capricorn or you don't. There's not a lot of middle ground with people like us.
That explains a lot.
Yes, it does. Okay, here's my first question for you. What are one or two of the most important lessons you learned before 50 that have served you really well post 50?
This was an interesting question for me because I should say the answer that I came up with was interesting for me because I actually learned this when I was quite young. Grandma and granddad always did a morning devotion.
Mm.
We had breakfast, but you didn't leave that table without doing the upper room and reading the Bible verse with it and pray. And of course, as I, got older, I thought, I don't know. Sorry about this. I ended up
All
using,
right.
so now I've got fingers in it.
No, you're
Um,
good.
so before 50, went through some kind of scary times, business, life, that kind of thing, and remembered, oh, yeah, devotions. So
Mm.
that's been a big part of my life for probably 15 or 20 years. And
Okay.
hard to get into my life, but when I don't do it, I know it. And I think everybody around me does too. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
grandma and granddad to that.
Well, your grandma and granddad, my great Uncle John and great Aunt Clara, two of my most favoritist people. So yeah, that's not super surprising to me that that was a big important piece. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Um, no, not to that. Mm-mm.
Okay, fantastic. Let's move on to the next question then, which is, what do you know now that you wish you could go back and tell your younger self, wherever you want to put your younger self?
Two things. Kind of back to grandma and granddad and anybody else that was super in, right in there. I wish that I had spoken more, asked more questions,
Oh.
and that goes down to parents gone now, aunts and uncles, great aunts and uncles, grandparents. I wish I would have asked more questions,
Mm.
um, and just visited more. I didn't have to, but the questions. There's so many questions now. Like with how many times I would like to visit with Uncle Ron today,
Yeah.
or my dad. And they're our most recent losses in our
Yeah.
family, and so they're my that I wish I could do that more. And if I can find somebody to ask, well, I'm on the computer with your mother a lot, and
I
that's
was
wonderful.
gonna say, you know Bonnie Bowman, right? Because there's not many questions she can't answer.
The other thing I would do is no, what did I do? Was that the right answer? I mean,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right
What
question.
what do you know today you wish you'd known earlier? Absolutely.
Um, I'm not sure if this is part of it, if that's the because I unfortunately didn't write the questions down, but I wish that I had gone to more, taken more education. Wish I had taken more classes outside of my field, like business and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
More of that and assorted things. I've picked up some education now, but before 50, there's some things I really could have used.
Don't you think it's amazing that education is sort of wasted on young people?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I mean, you go to school because it's kinda what you do if you grew up in that kind of environment. I think all the time too, the classes that I just looked at and thought, "Yeah, I'm not interested in those," and just didn't attend, and the for grantedness I took of learning is really a shame because there's a lot of things I don't know too that I feel like, "Gosh, I had an opportunity to learn this stuff, and I just said no." And that's pretty poor. But the great thing is, as we learned yesterday from my guest Murray, who's way older than we are, you don't have to stop learning. There's no end date on learning. So we can all
yes,
take the opportunity to start now, even if we were not as good about it when we were young as we should have been. Mother has another comment. Don't you love more than you can say that she has a grandma and granddad too? There aren't a lot of those callers. That is true. Yes, you and I have granddads, um, and not many people do. So I do love that. Okay, Beth, here's your last question. What's been some of or the most joyful aspect of being 50 and beyond?
I moved back to my family farm when I was 53. Beginning of the trip was at about 52 and a half when dad went into the nursing home. And as you know, when you sit with someone in the nursing home, you talk.
Mhm.
And some of the 5 years from the time mom passed until 5 years when dad went in the nursing home, we talked quite a bit on the phone. And then when he went into the nursing home, there we sat and we had a lot of conversations. And my greatest joy is the information that I got from him.
Mm.
Wouldn't have before.
Yeah.
It was kind of a hard decision, a hard time to do that. But now I look back on it and I realize that that offered me those opportunities, because we weren't going anywhere unless it was down to the coffee room to have hot chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably ate more maple nut ice cream in the 9 years that my grandma lived in the nursing home than the other 40 years of my entire life. I mean, we ate a lot of ice cream cones, which was fantastic.
You will never believe it. That is the ice cream that I took to Sherman because that was his favorite.
Because it's the best.
It is.
A good maple nut ice cream is really tough to top.
Yeah, that is
Well,
my greatest, getting to see my dad as much as I did. And
yeah.
I can't, that I'll always have that.
Mhm. Beth, I have a follow-up question only for you, and so really off topic, but how in the world did you go from living in a small town in South Dakota to living on a farm in Bowman? I mean, I know you grew up there, but that's a pretty hefty transition back. How has that been to both be out in rural Bowman County and also to be back in your childhood home?
It's funny that you would ask that question because I had an answer like that in my paperwork,
Yeah.
and I did. So I obviously am going to. I was planning to share it with you, but I wasn't where I should do that. Um, I just spoke with someone this morning, and I sent them a note, and I said, "Thank you so much for being in my chair." I have become reacquainted with people that I saw when I was growing up but didn't talk to.
Mm.
Met so many people that I've already known. It's
Hmm.
so wonderful to see the people past, when I was 15 and a half.
Mhm.
It is so good to get the in just get to know them. I can't think of another way to put it.
Yeah.
And wonderful. And I've been welcomed back to my hometown too. I really appreciate that so much.
Well, it's an amazing thing that you've done. You come from an amazing family, not just because we're related. Your immediate family is so fabulous. I have such spectacular memories of the four of you when we were little and, seeing you later in life, and just you and I have, I think, a really special bond despite the fact that there is a substantial enough age gap that when we were little, we didn't really have any connection. But that's the beautiful thing about aging is who cares how old you are? Once you're sort of past that development phase, then it doesn't matter. So I was so thrilled when you said yes, you would join me because you really are important in like the whole of my life, Beth, the whole of it.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to tell you that do my devotionals in the morning right by the French door,
Mm,
which looks out the beautiful buttes, and that time that you spent with my mom and worked on that DVD.
mhm. Yeah, that was an incredible week, in part because she was so um she was pretty frail by then, and she was so damn feisty that entire time we were with her. It was just shocking. We pulled up to the one-room schoolhouse that, both our granddads attended, and somebody was in the building, and your mom got out of her big 4x4 monster truck and stormed into that building to find out what they were doing, and I thought, "Oh my gosh, what is happening?" So, yeah, that, Western North Dakota gene is no joke. You gotta be tough to make it out there, I don't care what year it is.
Well, anytime you would like to bring your Eastern Dakota genes, get reacquainted with your Western Dakota
Yeah.
genes, you come see us.
Well, I appreciate that, my wimpy Eastern North Dakota genes. I really appreciate the offer. I have one more Bonnie Bowman comment. I have a suggestion for you if you ever need to pick me up or need a way to just bring a smile. Capture the exquisite Beth Oakland Mollman laugh and just play it when needed. I guarantee it can probably cure things. Boy, is that absolutely true. Beth, thank you for taking the time. I know you had to rearrange your schedule to make this work. I really appreciate it. I loved our little bit of time together, and I loved your answers.
Thank you so much, Dana. Thank you for asking me.
Merry
And hello,
Christmas
Vaughn.
and happy birthday.
Thank you. And to you too.
Thanks,
so much.
Beth. We'll talk
Okay.
soon. Everybody else, I'll see you tomorrow.